Last week was exciting for Fresno Pacific Athletics. Swimming went stroke for stroke with some of the top programs in Division II, and the track and field team earned a lot of hardware at the NCCAA National Indoor Meet. It's all coming up right now on Inside Fresno Pacific Athletics. Thanks for joining us for this week's episode of Inside Fresno Pacific Athletics. I'm your host, Katie Rocca. The swim team ended their season with a bang at the Pacific Coast Swim Conference Championship meet. Here's a quick recap of their final meet, their first year in the NCAA, and what to look for next season.
4-day meet. Started off with night one, was really successful, had a school record go down, guys 800 free relay, which that was a tough record. Carl Weigley, the assistant coach, was actually part of the school record that had it before, broke it by 2 seconds. It's a really great way to start the meet. Just had some solid other relays as well on the girls' side and the guys. And then I feel like just every day we got a little bit better. Had a lot of great performances, a lot of best times. Our top 5 all-time list is going to look quite different after this meet, which is always great. Had several different people put swims up there. So it was a really solid meet overall for us.
Conference is obviously a lot different than nationals. We tend to go a little further in the season, but we finished, early February this year, and it was kind of hard changing our mindset, that conference was our big meet rather than just a step towards nationals. But once we got there and got going, we all had a lot of energy, and we finished very strong.
It was an outdoor pool, and with the weather, it's not that perfect, but I think it was hard for many people mentally because it was our last meet. And usually our last meet is nationals in March.
It was different than last year just by the fact that we didn't have a big meet after this swim meet. So it was different getting pumped up and getting ready to swim earlier in the season.
It kicked off with like the 800 free relay. I had a blast on that relay. We had Paul Marie Rose, Justin Lopez Lamb, Ian Roos. That was probably the most fun I've ever had on a relay. We broke the school record. I
think it was awesome that Amanda won. She worked her butt off for it, and there's no better way to go out in your senior year than winning both events. And I think she was a little bit surprised that she won, but it gave us a lot of points. And those first 2 days when she was diving, we were up in second place, so we needed those points pretty bad to end up where we did overall.
With all the changes this year, it took us a little while to get going for sure, but once we got together and everyone started working together, we made it happen in the end. And I think we're just going to take all those things that we learned as the season went on and carry them through next year.
We had some great things happen this year to where we just got to build off of that. Right now I can think of 6 different records that I know could go down next year. Keep doing that, taking care of business individually. We're just going to keep getting better as a team. And it's still a little bit of a building process year as we look towards that first NCAA year. We're still moving things in the direction where that's the goal, is to have the best team possible that first NCAA year. Individually, we got some places where we can just be that much better, and I think we got more people bought into the system now, bought into what we're doing, and are going to come in with, ready to go next year, rather than this year it was kind of, okay, new coach, let's figure this out. So we're going to be in a little bit different place team-wise to start the year, which I think is going to help a lot. And I think it's just going to set up for, some really good things next year.
Track and field took some of the top qualifying marks to the NCCAA National Indoor Championships 2 weeks ago and didn't disappoint. All told, the Sunbirds walked away with 2 national championships, and we caught up with the big winners from Figi.
I got second in the long jump. My last jump, I could have won it with my last jump, but I barely fouled. I barely made the final in the long jump. I was a little tired because we got done with the long jump at 11 p.m. I didn't finally fall asleep at 2:30 a.m. and I had triple jump at 11 a.m. So I didn't have much sleep.
It's been so much fun, kind of mind-blowing, finally getting to that point where I'm performing it where I want to be.
Coming back, I knew it was going to be a challenge just because Ethan wasn't going to be there. It wasn't going to be the same. With him not being here, I think that was the first obstacle, that the first how do you say it, like something I had to come to terms with, because he was always there from freshman year all the way through junior year. And every time he's there, we always push each other. Like if I see him bound, say like 15 meters, I like to go like at least an extra. Or if he runs this amount of time in practice, I'd like to go at least a second faster.
I kind of like knew like where I needed to be, but it was just so hard to get there. Like I wasn't exactly doing the stuff that I needed to do to get there, and finally starting to get it right, you know, 4 years down the line, but better late than never. It's been so cool, like so much fun. Like I love my team this year. I mean, every year it's like special, just having a bunch of people around you all the time, like almost like 24/7, that they basically become family to you, and always hanging out and having fun. And it's like more than just about competing, but like being a family and being able to support each other like on and off the track.
The team is great. Like they inspire me big time. They push me to be my best.
I'm really just enjoying the experience. I'm not really too worried that I may not like compete at outdoors. Like I'm just taking it a day at a time, trying to improve, trying to make the most of hanging out with teammates and making memories, and not too much focused on like, oh, like I want to perform this good by this time. I mean, some of it is that too, but like really just the bigger picture of having a team to enjoy it with.
It's time to take a look back at some of the home games from this last week. Here with your highlights is Brandon Tripp.
Fresno Pacific looking for its first ever Pac-West Series win. They'll need a sweep to do it against the 3-7 Vulcans. Wilson Ashford on the mound, and he was dealing, following up his 7 scoreless in Stanislaus with a gem here. Bottom of the first, 2 on, and Brett Bishop hits into the tailor-made double play, but a bad throw from second baseman Ryan Fukunaga gets past Keenan Nishioka, and Devin Lee comes around to score 1-0 FPU. Then it's John Kortoff singling up the middle, bringing home Bishop for an early 2-0 Sunbird lead. Jump ahead to the top of the 5th, and Sam Kim in scoring position, but Ashford gets Austin Cusack looking to end the inning. Sunbirds up 3-2 in the bottom of the 7th inning, looking for some insurance, and like a good neighbor, Bobby Mendoza is there with the single to left. That scores Steven Lozier, and the Sunbirds take a 2-run lead. Chris De La Torre comes in to close it out in the 9th for a 4-2 win in Game 1. FPU now looking for the sweep on the day, with last year's freshman sensation Josh Medelis on the mound making his season debut, and he gets Fukunaga swinging. Medelis gave up 2 earned in 5 innings with 5 Ks to his name. Bottom of the inning, Devin Lee on first and Bishop at the plate. He fires it right back up the middle, enough to bring Lee home, and Bishop will take second on the throw. Sunbirds up 2-0 after 1. Second inning, Lozier at the plate. He loops one into left field, and he turns on the Jets to stretch it into a double. He would advance to third on a ground out, but Lee can't get the squeeze bunt down, and Lozier gets tagged out at the plate by catcher Richie Mariano. Top half of the third, runners on the corners, and John Abreu looking to bunt home a run. But take a look at this top 10 moment by Medelis, catching it just before it hits the ground. A run would score later in the inning as the Vulcans close the lead to 2-1. Bottom 6, Kyle Copham already on base, and Kortoff loops a single into center. Then Stephen Moon follows that up with a hard single into right, and we have a bases-loaded situation for Lozier, who grounds out to first, but the throw home not in time. Sunbirds take a 3-2 lead. Top of the 7th, the last chance for Hilo, with Cleary in scoring position, and Cusick singles into right. Cleary looking for the tying run, but a great throw and an even better scoop at the plate by Bishop, as he gets the out at the plate and saves the game for the Sunbirds, who sweep the doubleheader and win 3-2.
I mean, first off, you know, Hilo's a tough team, and Coach Estrella, he does a good job. I mean, his kids were ready to play. But, you know, for us personally, you know, to sweep and then to go ahead and win a series, I mean, that's what it's all about in this conference play, and that's what we talked about as a team, you know, Monday and then also today. You know, we need to win this series.
Winning a series is always big in conference, and conference is big this year. These guys were good, and it was good to come out and sweep these guys today. It was a big win.
Wilson was great, and we had great pitching throughout the day. We really did, but Wilson was phenomenal today. And, you know, and I really, you know, he was great against Stanislaus with the one-hitter, but, you know, today with a more grinded-out type win was almost more impressive. But I have to tip my hat to the kids. I mean, to the guys, they really won, and that's what it's about. They found a way, and and that's what's most important.
Coach Hirschhorn just kept telling us, just stay relaxed, stay confident in the box, and that's what we did, and we came up with big hits when we needed them.
It was so good to get Josh Medelis back out on the mound. We've been waiting for this and tried to be cautious and keeping him, getting him back out here. And, he was great, and it's funny because that's not his best stuff, but even today without his best stuff, it's still dominant.
Thanks, Brandon. Last Saturday, baseball put up a good fight against number 21 Sonoma State in a doubleheader, but fell in both games 8-3 and 10-1. A costly error in the 8th inning blew open Game 1, and after taking an early 1-0 lead in Game 2, the Seawolves rallied with 10 unanswered runs. In their final road game of the season, women's basketball faced a tough opponent, resulting in a loss. Notre Dame Datamura came out guns blazing in the first half. The Sunbirds started to rally just a little too late in the second half and suffered a close loss of 70-61 to the Argonauts. Men's basketball once again put on an exciting show for the crowd when they played Notre Dame Datamura Tuesday. Lead scorer John Taylor broke FPU's single-season scoring record by raking in 41 points, his second 40-plus scoring effort on the season. Malcolm Griffin also recorded his second triple-double as the Sunbirds claimed a win over the Argonauts 103-86. It's springtime, everyone. That means that if the sun is out, you should come out to support all of the athletics that are coming up this week. Here are all of your options. Tomorrow, women's water polo is traveling down to the beautiful city of Thousand Oaks for the Posada Royale Invitational. The Sunbirds will first face Laverne at 1 p.m. and then California Baptist at 4:30 p.m. The following day, FPU will match up against Claremont Mud Scripps at 11:40 a.m. and then Chapman at 3:10 p.m. On Saturday, baseball is heading to Azusa for a doubleheader. The bats will begin cracking at 11 a.m. Tennis is defending their home court on Saturday when they host Concordia. Game time starts at 12 noon. Men's and women's basketball has their senior night this Saturday when California Baptist comes to the Special Events Center at FPU. Tip-off for the women is at 2:30 p.m., followed by the men at 4:30 p.m. Yes, it might be spring break for FPU students, but do not forget that men's basketball has their NCCAA West Region playoffs right here in Fresno next week. Game times are to be announced, so keep your eyes peeled and come out to support the Birds in their last games of the season. The tennis teams have one of the toughest tournaments of their season on March 11th through the 13th in Las Vegas. Both teams will be facing 3 top 10 opponents that include 10-time NCAA champion Armstrong and perennial national title contenders Abilene Christian and Hawaii Pacific. Remember, you can stay up to date with all the latest news, scores, and highlights for the Sunbirds at fpuathletics.com and on Twitter at FPU Sunbirds. Glad you could join us this week, and we'll see you next time right here on Inside Fresno Pacific Athletics.